Okay, so I'm sorry, I'm smiling. There was an option on my phone while I'm recording. I was like, "What's this thing?" It was like a little arrow was pointing at it. I clicked it. It said self illumination. I was like, "Okay, maybe that's just better lighting." Because I clicked it and it like lit up. And I was like, "Oh, that's fucking obnoxious." Let's turn that off. I don't know. That was just funny to me. Anyway, so last night I finished Demon Lord Retry, maoh-sama Retry, whatever you want to call it, and it's one of those things that I like got clips for recommended. Got clips. I found out about it because I got clips recommended to me by YouTube. You know, people like add little clips to YouTube for fucking anything really. And I was like, okay, I kind of want to watch this. I'm gonna be honest, it's not the greatest anime, but I did again kind of have fun watching it. Um, Obviously, I watched a review before I watched it. I can't remember if it was Giga or Mother's Basement. Well, they said something about there's kind of a blatant rip off of other anime. I didn't really particularly. The only really obvious thing where I was like, okay, that's definitely. Is there's literally a character that looks exactly like Rem. Was it Rem and Ram? From ReZero, just tinier with blonde hair. And I was like, okay. Her name's Aku. She's kind of adorable, so I feel more like she could be like their like another little sister for them rather than like a blatant ripoff. But it's not like I'm really comparing them too much. Just like yeah, obviously they look like. Well, that and she has two different colored eyes, red and green. Um, it's been a while since I watched ReZero. Okay, anyway, so it is about. It's kind of feels like they've like there's some things that reminded me of like Slime with how he kind of built his town. This is nowhere near satisfying. Like it's much quicker and he just gets it done immediately. Whereas in like the time I got reincarnated as Slime, you actually get to see the village built up. Rather this kind of, I mean, you do see a little bit of it, but like if that's kind of your jam, like Slime does it much better. Like from the passage of time to actually feeling like he was built up, none of it's bad. It's just great. Right, this kind of just feels like he pulls it out of his ass, really. But you do see the town develop a bit, and it doesn't develop until like Hot Springs type of thing. Anyway, so I guess the, like it is a mishmash by other hand. I'm pretty sure that was accurate. And it also kind of reminds me of Overlord, but again, nowhere near as cool. So we have the dude. I guess he made this game, and he gets sucked into the fucking game, or well, it's not the game. Alright, so he made a game, and in that game he was the demon lord. And then he gets summoned to this fantasy world. It's an isekai. And he's his demon lord character. So right off the bat, that reminds me of how not to summon a demon lord. And we've very just they've just barely glossed over it. Really, is he finds out. Well, first what happens is he kind of wakes up in this forest. The first thing he sees is Aku running to him, saying, "Dude, you gotta run because there's a fucking demon king here." So he kind of gets attacked for a second, and then he one-shots that motherfucker. And then she just starts calling him Demon Lord. He never introduces himself as a Demon Lord, by the way. Never. But Aku starts calling him that because she figures the only thing that could take out the Demon King Grail, I think that's how you pronounce his name. I probably pronounced it wrong. Is like Demon Lord or something. So she just kind of calls him that through the entire fucking series, no matter what. So then, of course, people are like, "Oh, you're the Demon Lord," and then just he has wanted posters later on, which they kind of remind me of the wanted posters from One Piece, as well as other things, but mostly One Piece. I don't know, but then again, that's the one show that like I've seen really wanted posters that they actually like show often. I only see it like once or twice though. Like, well, what was it? Somebody really said you see wanted posters for a second. Anyway. So he meets Aku, one shots Grail, And then he finds she has been exiled from her village as a sacrifice because I guess the cherub sealed away Grail, the Demon King, or at least one of them, I guess. I don't know. Uh, so she sealed him away, but doing so she died. And then he finally got free and started demanding sacrifices of all the nearby villages. So she cast out. They didn't like her anyway. They treated her like shit. You don't know why she's treated like shit, by the way. They never really fucking explain it. They just treat her like shit. You see her village for about a second, and then a house gets lit on fire there, and then they're done with the village. Anyway, so meets her, one-shots the dude. Then he asks some questions of Aku, and that leads him to this wishing shrine type thing, which is nearby in the forest, which is, I guess, where Grill was sealed away. And when he gets there, he finds a bunch of bodies, has Aku outside because he can smell the blood or whatever, and finds a bunch of Satanists on the floor dead. And I guess they were... I can't remember if they said they were... No, okay, sorry. So he asks... there's this character in there called Idol. She's kind of like this living statue looking thing. Or this very pale demon looking thing. It's hard to explain. You find out later or at least he theorizes she was probably the orphan, because there's the cherub, the orphan, and the seraph. So the cherub we already know is dead. He thinks maybe Idol, who is this thing he meets there, might have been the orphan. He doesn't know for sure. And then we don't know much about this. We didn't really hear anything about the seraph. Just kind of he asks questions about her later. So he asks her a bunch of questions. Sorry, can't talk straight. And she explains, okay, well, the Satanists, they summoned you. And I think he asks, did they summon Grail? She's like, no, he broke out with his own power. And then killed them all. And then he's like, well, I want to go back home. And she's like, well, sorry, I can't grant that wish because it already conflicts with another wish. But what I can do is I can give you this. Because I guess she just kind of grants any wish. And she says she used to be pure, but then years of granting wish after wish of wicked wishes from wicked humans turned her into this kind of grotesque looking figure, and then she fucking petrifies and then turns into ash or dust, whatever. But she gives him this creepy ass try-hardy demon ring. It's literally a fucking skull with a giant eye on top of it, which will talk to him occasionally. He's just like, let's kill people, and he's like, no. He's like, why not? But at some point, you just stop hearing from the ring. I don't think it's... I'm hoping it came back. It just kind of feel like they forgot about it for a second. But, so he finds, gets the ring, and he doesn't ever use it, by the way. Or at least not in the first season. We are probably going to get a second season, because it says to be continued at the end or whatever. And Wikipedia says the same thing, that there's going to be another season or something. So I'm guessing that means I don't know if that's a confirmed for we will get it, or if it's just we're likely to get it or something. Anyway, that's what Wikipedia made it look like, at least, but it's not the most reliable source of information, please remember. So he decides to kind of travel with Aku, or she wants to follow him because she has no place to go. So they decide to go to the village real quick to pick up her things because she didn't have much, but she wanted to grab some of her stuff. And he goes to the village, and of course, generic bully motherfucker guns come out of nowhere and start throwing rocks at her. And he stops them and throws a knife, and the knife causes the house to light on fire. I don't know why, because it's not like it was a flaming knife. So I don't know how the fuck it got on fire. So that still confuses me. But no one died, I guess. And then they kind of talk briefly about... Because just before they go to the village, he There's not a whole lot here, okay? So it's not a bad show, but it's hard to talk about everything without talking about everything. Does that make sense? Like, it's a lot of little mundane things, but this does kind of come into the hot spring thing later, I think. Whereas you find the land's was cursed by Grail, so like nothing grows there. The water's pretty much like polluted. So she takes a bath in this like lake or whatever that's by the forest or whatever. He's like, go, clean yourself off for a second while I like smoke a cigarette or something. Which he always pulls out magical cigarettes. Anyway. And she's like, oh, that was great. I've never like had a bath like that before. And he's like, okay, why not? And she's like, well, that's considered a luxury. And while we do have like water, it's cursed, it's gross. And we get a small thing about what she did in the village. She would, pretty much do the work no one would want to do, like emptying the chamber pots, picking up firewood, just pretty much anything she could do, but she was always treated like shit no matter what. So she doesn't get any of her things, but she and him decide to, travel together, and then you get like them traveling together, and then they get robbed by bandits, and then they meet one of the three holy maidens, Luna, and quite literally, he decides to punish her by spanking her. And then she ends up coming into the party later. And eventually we meet the other two maidens. It's a very generic story. Oh, I guess there's some like parts I like, but so they get to where he has this ability where if he has basically he is in another world, but there is kind of like a game system type thing where he has like a control panel and he can like unlock stuff, but he needs points, and to get points you gotta defeat things. So he has a few points, and he decides to spend some of that on like a survival bunker type thing, and then he saves up enough points later on, and he gets to unlock characters like aides to help him. So the first one he unlocks is UA, or I'm sorry, not UAU. Basically, she's a hot, sadistic doctor, genius, researcher type of thing, and she joins the party for a bit, and that's after Luna joins. So all four of them go to Rabbit Village, which took me a little bit to realize Rabbit Village. And the real creative name of these species is bunnies, and they are the bunny-eared girls. And they're kind of being, like, I guess the cherub loved them. So they're supposed to get slightly better treatment than other beastmen, I guess. But quite clearly, we're in like a human supremacist nation. So while they're supposedly loved by the cherub, who's obviously dead, it looks like they kind of like sequestered them off somewhere else where they wouldn't have to deal with them. And then they're having problems growing carrots, and that's what the village is famous for. Also, all of them talk by saying USA and hop at the end. USA or bunny, or hop at the end of their sentences. And he's like, why are you... You don't have to do that. Why are you doing that? And she's like, people get, what was it? Well, it like disappoints people if we don't talk like this bunny. And it's real annoying. I guess it's like the equivalent of, yeah, like the stupid cat thing, but at least that's a noise that a cat kind of would make. I don't know any bunnies to say USA or hop. It's stupid. Not that the cat one's any better, but at least, like I said, meow, yeah, kind of works. Still stupid though. So we have that. And then they have like a water shortage. They've drilled all the water out of the ground, so they don't have much, and they have really weathered carrots. And then he has this magical fucking pulley system that he attaches to a well, and I guess it makes water, like an infinite supply of water. he just hook it up to the well. You don't actually need water from the well. It literally just you just need to hook it to a well and it will provide for it. So of course now they can grow their fucking carrots, and he decides to draw up or make a hot spring in a hospital over there. Oh, and Rabi Village is the territory of Luna, who's the first holy maiden we meet. She is a selfish brat cun. Let's put it that way. Or selfish brat chan, I suppose. And then basically it's just him doing shit. And it's very mundane anime, and it's not that entertaining. Like, pretty much any other anime I've seen is more entertaining. At least I could explain it in a way that was more entertaining, I would think. This just kind of feels like I'm rattling off a grocery list. But, like, if you like In Another World with My Smartphone, I was about to say Dead Man Wonderland, Dead Man's Grandchild or something. No, like, In Another World with My Smartphone, or Why Is My Grandchild, those are much more entertaining than this. It's not bad, though. I did like this show, but it's kind of almost not quite in that league of those ones. Like, I think at the very least, they were much more entertaining for me to describe. But it's just kind of like a bunch of, like, it feels like I said, it's like I'm rattling off a fucking grocery list. Like, we need bread, we're out of milk. Sorry, I don't know. I don't know if it would have been better if I made it, like, this video right after I finished watching it and then just went off that way. Maybe it would be better if I took more time to think about it. But it just, so it's basically just him meeting people, fixing up Rowdy Village, turning into this, like, hot spring resort thing, trying to get a good reputation, because I guess in his game they did, like, the evil route, and he's doing it differently. And there's just this one thing where maybe he has two different forms or something, I don't know. Like, he'll switch, there's this part where he gets down by this thing and he has an option. He's like, okay, what I gotta do, I gotta do something, and there's a little option on screen that says switch character, so he does, and he turns into Zero, who, like, Luna has a crush on him in his Demon Lord form, and then by the end we have the third sister who also likes him, and then we have his second form, Zero, which his Demon Lord form is very, like, mafia boss looking, like, a very handsome, like, 40-something-ish guy with long hair. And then we have Zero, who looks like Yakuza delinquent boy. Just like a younger version. Or not a younger version of that, but like he looks younger, like in his, like, late 20s to, like, early 30s-ish age-wise. And he's got, like, white silver hair, and he has one of those obnoxious coats with, like, a big fur collar, and there's a fucking dragon on the back of it. I don't know how to describe this character to you, but I wouldn't be surprised if you hear, like, I don't know, it's hard to explain. It's not a bad anime. There's some good fun to be had. There's one character that is extremely fucking cringeworthy, though. And his name is Yukikaze. He is, like, you know how, like, between, like, the breaks, like, where a commercial break would be, it'll have, like, maybe, like, a little status screen or something, like, you know, birthday, blood type, hobbies, whatever. So I have one for Yukikaze, and it says, like, adventure or whatever, and then it says for gender, girlish boy. And I don't know why it made me laugh. That, like, they literally just consider that a gender. I don't know. I guess like, it said just putting, like, male, because he is actually male. But instead just putting his girlish boy as the gender, I don't know, I think it's kind of cute and funny somehow. I don't know, I like the little touch of that. And he is not subtle at all. Like, you know those characters that say shit that should only be in, like, a really cringy hentai manga. How can I put this in the simplest way possible? So, there's a scene where he's drinking milk, and instead of saying, "Hey, can I have another milk?" he says, "Can I have some of that white creamy stuff?" And I was like, "You're this fucking character, aren't you? You're this fucking character." Which I still found him entertaining. I don't know why. Maybe because it was just the ridiculous factor made it funnier, plus he was adorable. Like, oh, you're so pretty and creepy, but I would have liked it even better if right after he said, "Hey, here's my white cream stuff," and someone in the bar that they're at had gone, "Just order milk, you fucking creep." I would have liked it so much better if they did that. Like, just add that little touch. But no. And then he has his friend Miken, she's that character with giant boobs that, like, the outfit she's wearing, the top at the very least, it's holding nothing. I don't know how tight they had to sew that part on or something to have any lift to hold the bosoms, is all I'm saying. Like, I expect just flop every second. Anyway. Somehow, despite the fact it is showing a lot, it doesn't feel erotic. Like, it's, in like those old paintings, some of the dresses will have, like, a little bit more showing up top, but it's, like, really flattened down to the point it doesn't even look like boobs anymore. So you can't really be turned on by it. You're just kind of like, that's not comfortable. Doesn't look comfortable. Anyway, so it's not the worst anime, but it's very mundane. Like I mentioned, those other anime are probably better. This one's not horrible. I did have fun watching it. I did think, moments with Aku and our Demon Lord were kind of cute. I mean, she does like him, but this is definitely a harem anime, by the way. A lot of people want the D here. But Aku, like, he actually says, "Oh, she's kind of like my daughter." Like, he thinks it, like, "Oh, this is kind of like a, dad and daughter moment." And it's kind of cute that way. But in the back of my head, I'm like, "Oh, that's right, she likes him." But, I don't know, it's kind of like the whole, there are cute little moments there. But, I don't know, just, they do a lot that, like, I could see how people say it's a blatant ripoff of things. But like I said, I still had fun with it. I can't really recommend it. I don't think it's horrible. I don't really think it's amazing either. I had fun with it. I guess I don't know what else to say about it.